Hello, I'm Stan Dworkin, and I'm running in the Democratic primary on September 13th for the Rockland County Legislature in District 12, representing Airmont, Suffern, and Hilburn. Over 200 years ago, the words "no taxation without representation" echoed from the 13 colonies across the Atlantic Ocean to the halls of the palaces of the King of England. The words were simple. People believed that if they were going to pay taxes to the government, they wanted and deserved a voice in that government. That same principle holds true today, and that's the reason why I've decided to try to return to the Rockland County Legislature in District 12. For the past 4 years, we have had a county legislator representing us only by title. He has not been an effective leader addressing county issues for which he was elected to represent us, and he's left the taxpayers of Western Ramapo paying taxes without representation. 4 years ago, Joe Myers campaigned for the county legislature, and I knew, having served as your legislator for 9 years, that what he was promising the public was unattainable and not within the realm of county government. He was promising that he was going to stop the building. In his not-so-subtle manner, his promise was merely aimed at stopping a certain group of people from moving into the Airmont area. Mr. Myers has been in office for 4 years, and he has accomplished nothing for our district. Not only has he not stopped the building, but he has done nothing to improve the quality of life, and with the tax dollars we pay, which happens to be the 5th highest rate for counties in the United States, we deserve better for our investment in local government. It is time for a change for the better, and I believe my record as a legislator proves that I can provide the type of leadership for the people of District 12. In 2008, my opponent's only successful resolution during his 4-year tenure as a legislator was an insignificant memorializing resolution regarding our LUPA. He got the legislature to ask Congress, or tried to get the legislature to ask Congress, to reevaluate and examine our LUPA, which is the law of the land on religious land use. The truth about memorializing resolutions is that their effect is no different than that of ours should we as individual citizens send the same letters to Congress. It takes no action, does nothing, and means little. In fact, when it came to actually voting on our LUPA in Rockland County, Mr. Myers in 2010 voted in favor of the Rockland County Planning Board's comprehensive plan, which included the acknowledgement and recognition of our LUPA. So despite his protestations to the contrary, he voted for our LUPA just this past year. Mr. Myers sent out a mailing recently proudly stating, "But often I have stood virtually alone." Well, there's a simple reason for this, and one that has nothing to do with me. Mr. Myers has alienated himself from most of the leaders in county government. He cannot get his legislative colleagues to second or support his resolutions. And with only 10 Democratic legislators and many committee chairmanships to offer, Mr. Myers has never been given a leadership position or a chairmanship in the democratically controlled legislature. His ineffectiveness goes so far that when he proposed to have Rockland residents have calorie content listed on restaurant menus, a health issue of significant value, he could not get legislators to support his proposal, and it died. If he cannot get such a simple health issue bill passed, how can we rely on him to get any legislation passed? The simple fact is that he is ineffective and his representation for us has been inadequate. Getting back to the issue of no taxation without representation, Mr. Meyer in his mailing writes that he opposed the development of the Suffern Quarry, the Patrick Farm, the newly constructed baseball stadium, and a development on Hillside Avenue in Airmont. Not only did he fail to accomplish anything with his opposition to those 4 projects, but in the process he burdened the overtaxed people of the village of Airmont with over $450,000 in legal fees that we must pay in a losing case. But each of these issues has absolutely nothing to do with county government. They are all town board issues or village board issues, and they all involve land use. I think Mr. Myers is confused about what position he's running for, because everything he speaks about is a town or village board issue. He is running for the wrong office. If everything he writes about and everything he tells us he fights for is a town board land use issue, why does he want to be a county legislator? Mr. Meyer wants to represent Airmont, Suffern, and Hilburn in the legislature. you need to ask yourself whether or not he deserves that support. Aside from not doing anything for the area during the past 4 years, his actions could have hurt each one of these areas. He has twice voted against the sharing of county sales tax revenue for these villages. Had he been successful, it would have cost Suffern residents, $197,000 a year in additional taxes. It would have cost Airmont residents $140,000 a year and Hilburn residents $16,000 per year. Mr. Myers voted against the project for the sewer district that would have improved the lives of the people of Hilburn. He proposed the elimination of the Rockland County Human Rights Commission, and he's used his position in the county legislature merely as a podium to fan the flames of fear and religious differences in our community. He has opposed just about every project meant to improve the lives of the religious community in Airmont, in the process inspiring general feelings of bigotry and unhappiness. He has worked to tear the people of our area apart, not bring them together. Is that the kind of leadership we want for another 4 years? Can we afford that for another 4 years? During my 9 years as your county legislature, I brought the enhanced 911 emergency phone system to Rockland County. I established the Office for the Disabled, got the smokehouse built at the Fire Training Center used to train our volunteer firemen, school children, and local police departments. I brought breast cancer screening to Rockland County. I established an Alternatives to Incarceration program at the jail for nonviolent offenders. I proposed resolutions resulting in millions of dollars of reductions in county spending, lowering taxes in the process. I established a countywide anti-drug program. I expanded the countywide bus service to Western Ramapo, and I established laws to benefit the handicapped and the consumer. I authored the two-hat law, which has become the law of Rockland County, preventing one person from serving in the capacity of 2 elected positions, preventing conflicts of interest in local government. Unlike my opponent, who has not been appointed to any leadership position by his colleagues, during my tenure in the legislature, I was named Vice Chairman of the Legislature, Majority Leader, and I chaired the Multi-Services Committee, the Labor Relations and Negotiations Committee, the Crime Control Planning Board, Public Safety Committee, Reapportion Committee, and Insurance Committee. From a strictly partisan position as an elected Democrat, my opponent openly supported a Republican New York Assembly candidate against the incumbent Democrat, who fortunately won the election despite my opponent's opposition. In closing, I ask you to simply evaluate the differences between me and my opponent, and I'm confident that your decision will be easy. I have spent the bulk of my life, including 9 years in the county legislature, changing the lives of the people of Rockland County for the better. I brought innovative programs to the people while at the same time speaking out against patronage and overspending. I have saved millions of taxpayer dollars by proposing cost-saving resolutions that were adopted by the legislature. And I did all this while bringing the people of Ramapo together, not tearing them apart and building walls between them. It is time to make a change. Time to end our paying taxes without having representation in the county legislature working for and speaking for all of us. You only get one voice speaking for you in the county legislature. Help me make that voice an effective one for all of Western Ramapo. Thank you for your time, and please come out and vote to return Stan Dworkin to the Rockland County Legislature on primary day on September 13th. Thank you.